Strap yourself in because this video might be a little bit of a wild ride for some of you. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see all of my future videos with awesome clarinet tips and tricks, and share it with your friends if you find something about this eye-opening, or if this helps you change your perspective on some things about your clarinet playing, then it can help other people do that as well. And of course, my mission is always to help as many clarinet players as possible become the best that they can. So share this with anybody else who you see that wants to improve at the clarinet, and I hope that you enjoy some of the new ideas that I might have in store for you. So what I want to talk about today are some of the misconceptions that people might have with the name of QuickStart Clarinet and our catchphrase, which is learn to play right now. Though the name QuickStart Clarinet makes it seem like it's mainly for beginners and a way for people to get a good start on the clarinet, and that's what I sort of intended it as when I started, and still what my main mission is to help beginning clarinetists learn how to play properly from the beginning so that they can have the most success in their playing as possible and have the most joy from playing as possible. But what I've learned over the years of doing this and teaching in general is it's never too late to have a good start to your clarinet playing or start forming good habits and replacing bad habits with better habits. And that's something that we have to do over the course of our clarinet journey. So even though it's called QuickStart Clarinet, I think it can be applicable to anybody. It's sort of a quick start to finally learning how to play the clarinet properly. And maybe even if you've been playing for a while and have already started playing, this can be a good start to properly playing, which is something different than just starting in general. Something else that's a small but important nuance is actually where the comma is in learn to play right now. Because if you just read it, learn to play right now, then that's not as impactful or meaningful and doesn't get quite across like what I really mean by that phrase. So if it's just learn to play right now, it's like, okay, great, I'm gonna get my quick start to the clarinet, I'm gonna learn how to play now. But if I already know how to play, then that's like not gonna be helpful, right? But if you've been watching my other YouTube videos, and even if you've been playing for a while, I'm sure you've found that to be helpful. And the people who have gone through the courses who are already more experienced have gotten help out of those too and improved their clarinet playing. So it's for everybody. And if you interpret it with the comma as learn to play right now, then that totally changes the whole meaning of it. So let me explain a little bit more about how I want to shift your perspective of what QuickStart Clarinet Learn to Play Right Now is, from sort of a beginner way to get started going well, which it totally is, but it's also even more than that and more nuanced than that, is a way for you, wherever you are in your clarinet journey, to dive in and actually start to learn to play right now, rather than just learning anything in general or going through the motions that you've been going through for your clarinet journey so far. This is your opportunity, and this is my goal, is to help you realize the things you don't know and help you jumpstart and energize and get that learning to a higher level and really start to understand how to play so you can learn to play right now. So the first thing I want to talk about with that is the now part, actually. I think I could say just learn to play right or learn to play properly, and that's fine and dandy, and I think people should do that. But the now part is really important, because what brain science tells us is that our brains get good at doing whatever we're doing. And I can attest to this 100% because I grew up learning so many bad habits on the clarinet and then having to unlearn them. So it's important to get the good habits as early as possible. Even if you've already been playing 20 years, if you don't have those good habits instilled, then you're just getting better at doing things improperly and making things more difficult for yourself. You've probably felt the impact of bad habits on your playing if you've ever taken lessons and your teachers wanted you to do like an embouchure change or articulation change. Maybe you've been anchor tonguing. If you don't know what that is, that's good. Hopefully you're not doing it. If you do know what it is, then you've probably struggled through changing it. And again, if you don't know what it is, you might be doing it without even knowing that it's a thing. I don't want to get too much into anchor tonguing, but I just wanted to use that as an example of a bad habit that you might be going through and you don't even realize it's wrong, or you don't know how to fix it and it's a struggle because that bad habit formed at some point earlier in your playing where you didn't have the opportunity to learn to play properly then, and then now you are and you have to undo that bad habit. So that's what learning to play right now is all about. That now is getting in there as soon as possible to form the good habits and stop the bad habits from becoming a problem that you have to fix later. So that's why the now is such an important part of that little catchphrase, and why I really emphasize it and why I want people to take action to take charge of their learning. Whether it's through QuickStart Clarinet, the community, or the Next Generation Clarinet Method book, or any of my courses, or from your own teacher, or from any other online resource or anything. It's all about doing something now so that you form the good habits and don't start developing bad habits at any point in your playing career. Even if you've been playing for a long time and you have those bad habits, it's about getting the good habits now as soon as possible. Because again, the brain science says we get good at doing whatever we're doing, so every time you do something wrong, you get better at it and it becomes harder to learn it the right way. So that's why the now is so important. Okay, now for the bombshell that I told you to strap yourself in for at the beginning. You do not know how to play the clarinet properly. Yeah, that's right. I don't care if you've been playing for many years or you're just starting out, the chances are you simply don't know how to play really properly. But that's okay. So when I started playing, I spent about 3 years before I started taking lessons, and that first lesson was such like a mind-opening experience where I thought I was like the best clarinetist. I had the goal of being the best clarinetist ever, and I was going through, I was like the top of my band, and then I finally decided to take lessons even though I was the best, and in my head I was like, why do I need lessons if I'm already the best player in my band? But then my teacher, who knew a lot more than me about playing the clarinet, saw all of these problems in my playing and started to nitpick things and improve things and added dynamics into the music, taught me how to actually use my tongue and articulate, taught me how to pick a good reed or that reeds were bad in general. And it was just so mind-opening, and every single teacher I've studied with since then has had these new things and found new things in my playing, and every single time I'm like, holy moly, there's so much I didn't know about playing the clarinet. And unless you've studied with many, many great teachers and spent years and tons of time dedicated to practicing, studying, learning from online resources, books, teachers, music festivals, playing in orchestras, in bands, doing all of that sort of professional experience things, then you probably don't actually know how to play the clarinet. There's a great quote that goes, "You don't know what you don't know." And I found that to be so true in my clarinet playing before I started taking lessons and learning. And I still find it to be true all the time. The thing is, you can even be told these things that you're supposed to do or things that make sense, but it's not until you really know it that you realize how much you didn't know. For example, I was just in a rehearsal the other day and I was playing along, and it's pretty new music to me, so I was like trying to read the music and make sure I played the music properly. And then I had this realization as I was doing something easier and I was able to listen to the other parts and be more in the ensemble and think about the blend and balance and all of those things. And I was like, wow, imagine how easy and how much fun this rehearsal process would be if I was really super comfortable with my part and didn't have to worry about reading the music. And that was like a huge facepalm moment for me, because of course every single teacher since like middle school was like, you have to practice at home to learn your music, and then you come to rehearsal to learn other people's parts, or whatever quote you want from your favorite teacher about learn your music on your own and then come to rehearsal prepared. And of course I've heard that a million billion times, but it wasn't until I really had that realization for myself and really grasped it and understood it fully after being told it like the millionth time that I was like, whoa, I have no idea how much I've been missing out on, how much I didn't know up until this point. So when I say that you don't actually know how to play the clarinet properly, it's not a value judgment or a personal attack on you at all. I just want to open your mind and help you to realize that there's a whole wealth of information just on the clarinet, much less all the other information, but a whole wealth of clarinet information that you don't know, or maybe you've heard once or twice, but you don't fully understand and are able to implement that into your practice and performance. And that's okay. We'll never be able to know everything, but the more you know, the more you realize you don't know and didn't know previously, but the better chance you have of implementing those good habits and playing properly and making your clarinet playing fun and easy and enjoyable. Finally, I want to leave this video off with a little bit of more of a positive note and something that's hopeful. Playing the clarinet and learning music is not astronomically complex. It's not anything crazy that you have to do anything wild or overly difficult. It's all really a simple process of just repeating things properly and building that into your muscle memory. The reason why it's difficult is it's all these small motor controls and fine muscles that we have to learn to control. But the way that we control that and get the things that we want is all through a very simple process of repeating simple activities and just doing things well and building that into our muscle memory and doing the good things over and over so our brain gets better at doing the proper things. There may be a little complexity in the number of different things that we have to take care of with our embouchure, our air, our tongue, our articulation, our fingers, the notes, the rhythms, the dynamics, all of those different things, but each of those things on its own is simple. And if you break everything down to the fundamentals and take your time to learn each of those simple fundamental things, then putting it together is really easy and will help you to become a much better player. And the more you dive into each of those little categories, the more you'll understand and the more you'll unlock the things that you don't even realize you don't know. I hope this has helped you to open your mind a little bit about the things that you don't know and about the importance of learning the right things now. And I hope you realize that that's what my goal is with QuickStart Clarinet. No matter where you are in your journey, I want to give you that quick start to actually learning right now. So no matter where you are in your clarinet journey, if you've just started, if you've been playing for a long time, if you feel like you're a pretty decent player, I would encourage you to join the QuickStart Clarinet community. You can see the link in the description for that. But even more important than that, just do something to increase your knowledge and find out those things that you don't even realize you don't know. So whether that's the QuickStart Clarinet community, or another online community, or a private teacher, or even getting together with your friends and asking them questions. I've gotten so much information and advice from my colleagues in school and hearing how they do things that has been super valuable. So no matter what it is, I just encourage you to go out and take the action to learn the things that you don't know. You'll be amazed and surprised with how much knowledge there is out there. Even if you think you're playing properly now, I want you to really dedicate yourself to learn to play right now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, and there will be new videos every week with different clarinet knowledge, which may include some things that you didn't realize you don't know. And if you found this helpful for you and that it's opened your mind to new things and you want to share that realization with other people, feel free to share this video to whoever may be interested and help them to realize that there's a whole world of clarinet knowledge that they don't know. And if you want to be extra sassy with sharing this video, you can write in the text and say, "You don't even know how to play the clarinet." Because it's true, we all have more that we can learn about playing the clarinet. Even I do. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Thanks for watching. Go out there and learn some more stuff about the clarinet and learn those things that you don't know. And I'll see you in another video.